Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is James K. Jones and this is my basement. The top request that I get when I bring food or when somebody wants one of my recipes is for the Kairos pimento cheese. And for some reason, people always say that I'm leaving something out or I'm not telling the secret. There really is no secret if you just follow the recipe. Alright, so true story and full disclosure about the pimento cheese. I hate pimento cheese. When I was a kid, my mom had it in the refrigerator. It would be in this little tub with orange and red and green, maybe not green, orange and red and mayonnaise looking nastiness. And she would try to get me to eat it and I just couldn't do it. Not my thing. All that changed for me in June of 2010 when I was catering a wedding, and it was a big wedding with a lot of people there that would be able to see what we did as far as Kairos and potential customers. And the bride wanted pimento cheese at her wedding, and I said, I don't do pimento cheese. So she said, well, I'll just buy some and put it out. So I said, no, you won't, because if you put that out and I've got my name out there as Kairos Catering, then I'm gonna look stupid. So if you're really that passionate about it, I'll come up with a recipe that's stellar and we'll see what happens. So let's get going and see what you guys think. We'll see what happens. Let me know. All right, guys, we're going to start with our ingredients. We're going to want to get a thing of sour cream, some mayonnaise, a little heavy whipping cream, a bunch of cilantro, a bunch of green onions, a block of cream cheese, a block of Sharp Cheddar cheese, a container of Pimentos, some Asiago cheese, and some Parmesan cheese. And I'll show you what to do with that in a sec. Next, we want to get our spices together. We've got some pink Himalayan sea salt, some ground white pepper, dry ranch mix, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now, I like using the pink Himalayan salt, but if any salt will do. The next step is to get our hardware together. We're going to need a cheese grater, a hard whisk, a soft one won't work for this recipe, a plastic spatula, a microblade, and a very sharp chef's knife. Then we're going to need a microwave safe bowl and a roll of paper towels. And I'll tell you in a bit what we're going to do with the paper towel. Now the next step is going to be to shred the cheese. I like to go ahead and just get that out of the way. I don't generally do a whole lot with these kind of graters. I like using the microblades. They're just easier to handle and a little more disposable. But when you're doing cheddar cheese like this, it's softer than some of the others. So you have to do it on one of these just to get it done. Now obviously you can buy the already shredded up cheese. That's fine. But there's just something I believe makes it taste different when you shred your cheese right before you're ready to make it. It almost seems like there's like a preservative type chemical taste sometimes with cheese that's already shredded. But that may all be in my head, and of course you do it either way you want to. All right, next we're going to shred our Asiago and our Parmesan cheese. Now these are harder cheeses, so I like to use a microblade. You can use this for cheese and for zesting lemons and limes and stuff like that. All right, but it's so easy to shred. You just rub it over that, especially these longer ones. It's much quicker. We'll do probably about a cup and a half of Parmesan. You can always add more later. I wouldn't do this whole block, just part of it. And again, if you want to get this already shredded up, that's your prerogative. But I've just found, especially with the Asiago and the Parmesan, it just tastes so much better. Next, we're going to get our cilantro and green onions ready. Now, I've heard different camps or different people say different things about this, but it is very important that you wash your vegetables. Especially, sometimes the cilantro even still has like dirt and weeds and stuff like that on it. And you never know where this has been. This has traveled, most time, a lot of these herbs have traveled from other places. A lot of times cilantro comes from Mexico or somewhere way down yonder, and the worst thing you can do is get foodborne illness from just simple sanitation. So I've heard a lot of my friends say they hate washing the cilantro because it gets wet and nasty. But I just rinse it off real good, make sure there's no debris on it. I put it in a paper towel like this and just roll it up and let it sit for a second. All right, so next we're going to prep our herbs. We've got our green onions and our cilantro. I usually try to do the green onions first because they make less of a mess. The way I like to do it is just to examine a little bit. Sometimes there's some little nasty pieces on the end, get rid of that. But I line mine up like this, keep all the roots down at the end. Different recipes call for just white parts or green parts. I like to use both in this recipe. So just kind of even those up and then top off the end and get rid of those. Then we're gonna unroll our cilantro and chop that up quick. I always try to get out the big, sometimes some big stems sneak in there and they don't really do a lot for you. So I'm gonna give that a nice chop. You don't want it too thin, but at the same time you don't want it too thick either. So I guess it would be a medium chop. All right, so now I took the cream cheese, I put it in a microwave safe bowl. I'm gonna cover that with a wet paper towel. Not too wet, it's just a little damp. It's gonna keep it from burning. It's gonna keep it from burning. We're just gonna pop that in the microwave. Set our timer to 2 minutes. I don't know if you can hear this, but if you start hearing it pop, that means it's time to stop it. So just gonna get that out. And what this does with the cream cheese, you take this off, it makes it pliable enough for us to work with it. And that's gonna be the base for our pimento cheese. So now we are literally heading into the home stretch. You wanna take the cream cheese, just spin it around a little bit and get it loose. You're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And I'll put the recipe on the show notes so you can see that. Then we're gonna go ahead and season it. A little sea salt, a little white pepper. There's a lot of white pepper. The dry ranch mix. That's what gives it that unique flavor. And then we're gonna do just a little pinch of cayenne pepper. Now you shouldn't be able to taste the cayenne. It just gives it something on the back end that people really can't figure out what it is, but it's just good. And once you get it all good and together, you're gonna wanna taste it to make sure it's seasoned right. And that's good. I think we'll add just a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit more ranch to that. Skip the pepper, I think I did too much pepper already. But the seasoning part is really up to your taste. I like it to be not too seasoned, but not bland either. All right, and that is your base for your cream cheese. So to that, we're gonna add our cheddar. Just kind of loosely spread it out a little bit. Then we're gonna put in our Asiago and our Parmesan that we grated up. Get that going. It's gonna make for a happy people. And then we're gonna add the jar of pimentos. Now pimentos are just really just diced red sweet peppers. There are, I take that back, there are pimento peppers, but if you're in a jam you can use like diced sweet peppers or get the ones that are already canned up and then just chop them up. I've done that many times. Get those in there. We're gonna get our cilantro, put it in there. Beautiful green onions. Now one thing about doing videos, you can't smell, but this smell here is amazing. Just all the blendings of the cheese and the spices and the cilantro and green onions, it is amazing. So I just like to take it and just give it a nice spin it around. And then once we get that good and incorporated, we'll take our heavy cream and we'll just do a splash of heavy cream. That just gives it a little creaminess, keeps it from drying out, especially if you want to make it. You know, this will stay good in the refrigerator for a week or so. Try not to smush it. You're just, really what you're trying to do here is just fold these things in. And that's going to get us where we need to go. All right, so there you have it. They say the proof is in the pudding, never in the recipe. That's some good pudding. I'm about to go make me a grilled cheese. See you soon. All right, guys, well, there it is. Thanks for spending time with me in my basement. I'd love to hear what you think. We need to keep going. If you got any special recipes, we will be putting up a channel, so hopefully by then you can like and subscribe, and we'll see where we go with this. See you soon.